Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I am your host Sean McGahee, and this is the show we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. Joining me today after a long time for his first show of 2016 is Mr. Joshua the Angel. Josh, welcome back from Purgatory.
What up, dude? Woohoo!
Yeah,
2016, man.
Good to have you back, bud.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Your hair's looking a little weird today. It's like,
hat hair, man.
Frizzing
Give me a
out.
break. I can't always
frizzing
look
out.
suave, dude. I can't always look suave.
I know. It was weird. I saw you the other day with a hat on. I was like, I didn't think Josh wore a hat.
Yeah, I was wondering why I was getting weird looks from everybody. I guess that explains it.
Yeah, you never wear a hat, man. I'm used to have seen you, with the helmet coiffed hair going on there.
Yeah, man. With the hat, it tends to lay down more than poof up like a chia pet.
Oh yeah. So I had to let the dog out. She wanted to come in. Chances are she'll probably want to come in at some point anyway. But hey guys, we are back. So for those of you who don't listen, this is the show. We're going to run through some news stories that happened last week. We're going to discuss it. And of course, if you want to chime in, you can look us up on social media. So before that though, kind of wanted something I want to go through. I prepared Josh for this yesterday. This show got its name from the X-Men comic book series. For those who don't know, look it up. You'll figure it out. Being a huge X-Men fan that I am, that's kind of how I named this show after an X-Men reference. Now, when I first met Josh many years ago, he let me know that he was a superhero fan, that he liked his Batman, that he liked his Wolverine, his anti-heroes, so to speak. And since then, I have been giving him many graphic novels and comic books to read. And last year, I probably was, that started you on the journey of X-Men. Gave you the X-Men animated series to watch, just kind of to start off as a base point. And since then, I've given you a lot of the famous storylines, Second Genesis, Dark Phoenix, Days of Future Past, Onslaught, I think...
That giant dictionary size, was that Onslaught? That was
No. Age of Apocalypse was the big one,
yes,
which you didn't get through.
Jeez, that was a dictionary, dude.
Really,
it was literally
well,
the size
I told
of
you
a dictionary.
I marked which ones to read. You didn't have to read all of it, but you didn't even get through that. I don't think you read Zero Tolerance either. I don't think I gave you that one as well. But you got a lot of major storylines. So recently you went and you're caught up to date as far as you're at. You just read Grant Morrison's new X-Men run, and then you just started Astonishing X-Men by Mr. Joss Whedon himself. The next book I'm about to give you is House of M, which is something that is going to completely change the perception of the X-Men from here on out. And it's very, man, I cannot wait to see. I'm so jealous because I give you these things, and it's like, giving someone a copy of Star Wars to watch for the first time.
I got you.
It's those fresh eyes. You can't watch it twice for the first time, or you can't read something for the first time ever again. That feeling you get after you first watched a great movie or first read a great book. I envy, you in that way.
Well, your excitement has also amped up these stories, man. I mean, I've absolutely loved X-Men now. The journey's been long, sometimes tedious, but overall, man, I mean, I'm an X-Men at heart now. So your excitement has definitely helped.
So that's why I want to take a few minutes now, given, of course, like I said, we are a title based off an X-Men reference, and I'm a big X-Men fan. I wanted to, at this point in your X-Men reading, I wanted to get your kind of view on the X-Men as far as some of your favorite storylines, some of your favorite characters. Has your perception of the X-Men changed? Stuff like that.
Yes, it has. So the cartoon definitely started or put a baseline for me as far as the idea of what I had of X-Men. They're a team of superheroes, but there's so much more to it than that, and I've realized that, and I've gotten all that, the backstory from all the graphic novels. The love triangle, man, I was telling Amber this morning that there is two love triangles going on, what it seems like now, where I'm at in this X-Men timeline, with Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Emma Frost, and then you also have Kitty Pryde and Colossus, who I think Kitty Pryde later hooks up with Iceman.
Yeah, that's later on as well. But like right now, like with that, because they have Kitty and Colossus have a history, and Colossus was dead, of course.
Yes.
So now he's come back to
Back
life.
from the dead,
so
and
now
she's
it's
confused,
exactly.
and she doesn't know what to do. They're pushing each other away, but at the same time, they want to be with each other.
It's all one big soap opera.
Exactly, dude.
It's soap opera with superpowers.
It's a graphic novel with multiple layers, man. It's
very multiple layers.
There's so much to it. It seems like every week, I say every week, but every new story, they're facing some type of end of the world villain, you know, and which keeps the story intense and interesting. And they always change up the villains, man. Every episode is something completely different than the other. It seems like
it definitely. So, of course, you're a Wolverine fan. I know you love your Wolverine. Is there another character or several characters now that have really stood out to you that were like, hey, I like this guy, or I like this character?
You know, Cyclops, I have to admit, is growing on me.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that he's a leader and he's able to lead through all this drama, crap drama that he's been going through. For instance, there's a line in this latest one that I read that Kitty Pryde tries to take over. She's feeling cocky. She's feeling great. She just saved the whole team. She tries to give the team an order, and Scott's halfway dead right now, just got blown up, and he stops her from taking the lead of the team, basically. Like, don't you dare try to lead my team. I don't think you can. That was pretty cool. So he's showing some grit.
I just reminded me of the one that you just read too, the one where the Danger Room, becomes self-aware or whatever. And that one of my favorite lines too, not only that, but in X-Men, is when the Sentinel's crawling up into the mansion and Cyclops is like, get this off of my lawn now, and he just opens up full blast on it. And then Wolverine's like, Slim, every once in a while, you remind me why you're in charge.
Yep.
I love that. One of my favorite X-Men lines.
Oh, dude, he annihilates the Sentinel, pushes him back big time.
Full power, of course. So, like you said Cyclops, Gordon, any other characters that you might feel are standing out for you?
Yes. I'm a big fan of Colossus, just especially now I'm seeing a little bit more from him. I always thought he was a badass character. But yeah, he's actually shown a little bit more grit as well. But the ladies, man, I gotta comment on the ladies. Emma Frost, even her and Kitty Pryde's relationship.
Which you'll see more into, yeah.
It's pretty vicious sometimes, man, and just as vicious as Jean and Emma Frost can be.
Oh, okay. So are you Team Emma or Team Jean?
I think I answered this the other day. I'm Team Jean Grey, man. I'm Team Jean Grey for sure. I like the bad girl. I normally do, but there's something about the Phoenix, man, and Jean Grey and the power that she controls. It's pretty awesome the way she controls her temper. Sort of.
I'm excited to have you read, especially what's coming next as far as House of M and everything that follows that. I think you're going to be even more excited, going to be, more eager to read into the X-Men. I think also your perception of Cyclops. These next couple graphic novels from here on out, you're going to see why I love Cyclops so much. You're going to see him that take charge attitude especially. But one thing you also commented about was Professor Xavier.
Yes.
How that image of him is kind of being tainted.
To say the least. He is pretty good. I mean, he's almost a villain in my eyes now. I mean, I just feel like he is never there. He's always going on some trip. He's always on a hiatus, and a lot of times when he's gone, shit hits the fan. They're something part of the X-Men that is their foundation is unstable and begins almost to attack them, if anything, sometimes. So.
Yeah, and it's usually, like I said, this last one, the Danger Room attacked them because Xavier created this artificial intelligence and basically tried to contain it to train his X-Men. And, it was a living, breathing thing, but Xavier kept it trapped.
It was kind of like this Tony Stark and Ultron thing.
I can do that, yeah.
Very similar, it gave me that same vibe, but except in this situation, I felt like Tony Stark admitted to his wrongdoing and realized, had a come to Jesus type moment with Xavier. He just seems so arrogant, man. He just seems like he's okay. Well, that was just a test. I wanted to get the best out of you.
Just wait to see what else he does, man. I'll tell you.
Cold-hearted, dude.
It's Xavier. I thought of this phrase as I was, thinking about this discussion as well. I was like, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I think that right now that's going to describe Xavier very well, especially with what you're about to read about him too. it's going to be awesome. So,
Word.
But I'm excited that you're excited about X-Men. You're excited to read more because I'm excited to see what else you think about, especially coming up with the big changes that are coming up in the X-Men post House of M. I'm excited to see what you think about that too.
This one's not written by Josh Whedon, no. Okay.
No, this is House of M. It's a Marvel event, so it has all the Marvel characters in it, but it's X-Men centered. And that's something that very rare you see, because a lot of the big Marvel events like Civil War, Secret War, and all these other stuff, they don't usually include the X-Men. The X-Men thing I like is they kind of have their own corner of the Marvel universe, which is kind of the reason why you can have a whole X-Men cinematic universe over at Fox and not worry about including them in the MCU over their Marvel Studios.
Okay,
I'm not
standalone. It's strong enough to do
as
that.
long. Yeah, of course. There are so many X-Men characters and so many storylines just by the X-Men themselves. As long as Fox is still doing a good job bringing those characters about, I have no problem with them staying with 20th Century Fox. I don't care if they ever join the MCU. I mean, I'm sure some people want to see like Wolverine take on the Hulk and stuff like that. That's cool, but I've always been an X-Men fan. I think X-Men can stand by themselves with their own characters because I love them so much. So I'm not in a rush to see them join up Marvel Studios like I am Spider-Man or Daredevil or something like that.
Well, that's good info. I mean, it just shows you that we have a lot more to come from the X-Men universe, too, though.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to work with, of course. So, all right, guys, so getting into the actual news stories for you. Coming up, Rolling Stone did a lengthy interview with director Michael Bay, and two of the things he talked about was a movie he's producing that comes out this year called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, and another thing was the Transformers franchise. Of course, the real thing they were interviewing him about was his upcoming movie 13 Hours, but getting into the other things he's kind of famous for, as far as Ninja Turtles, he talked about how they're actually going to bring in the villain Krang in this next one. Kind of let the cat out of the bag, so to speak.
Yeah, I was like wondering why he spoiled it a little bit.
Well, okay, so those of you who don't know, Krang is a character in Ninja Turtle lore. He is a citizen of Dimension X who was stripped of his body when he came over to this dimension, and he kind of reduced to like a brain-like form with tentacles. Once here, he teamed up with Shredder, and Shredder actually built him kind of a exosuit, human-shaped body, which he used to get around quite a bit. So Michael Bay kind of let the cat out of the bag that Krang is going to be in the new Ninja Turtles movie, but he's not going to have tentacles because he felt like he looked too much like an octopus, I guess.
I mean, the character's kind of goofy looking.
I think he's totally goofy.
And the voice is even more hilarious.
Yeah, of course.
To be honest. In the cartoon, at least. So.
Yeah, exactly. So that character is going to be in it. The next movie comes out June 3rd, directed by David Green, who is most famous for the film Earth to Echo, because I couldn't find anything else in his IMDb page that was worth mentioning. Movie's going to star Megan Fox, Stephen Amell, Johnny Knoxville, Tyler Perry, Will Arnett, and more. Krang coming into this film. What do you think, Josh?
I gotta say, I'm gonna go ahead and admit something here on the podcast. It's gonna be, part of the Apple universe.
Everyone embrace yourselves.
I am actually looking forward to this film, to this sequel, more than the original, to be honest with you. I hate to admit that, but I was telling Amber again that it has a comic book vibe. I was talking about this morning, a comic book vibe to it, and I think this villain plays right into that. So I'm excited.
If I admit something too, I'm excited for it too.
Right?
Which I cannot believe, because that last Ninja Turtle movie, I literally got sick. Being that I grew up on Ninja Turtles, how much I love the Ninja Turtles, how much I respect the mythology of the Ninja Turtles, that last movie literally made me sick. I felt like my childhood was being raped right in front of me. It was atrocious. That being said, I walked out of that last film, and I was like, I'm not going to see the second one. I know they're going to do a sequel. It's going to be horrible. I'm not ever going to see it again. I don't ever even want to watch this film ever again. I want to forget it ever exists. But they cast Stephen Amell, and I watch Arrow. I like Stephen Amell. And then I saw that first trailer, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe they just made me want to see this film.
Yep.
They're bringing in Bebop and Rocksteady. They're bringing in Krang. It felt goofy and silly. And guess what? That is what that original 80s cartoon was like. because I have a couple episodes on DVD. I watch them from time to time, and it's goofy and it's silly, and as long as you don't take it seriously, it's a good time.
Yeah.
That's what looks like this film's going to be. So I'm probably going to go see it. I'm probably going to be disappointed again, but I think as long as you go to that mentality of not taking it too seriously, like you would say the 1990 film, and just, take it for the kid, stupid film that it probably is going to be. It might not be bad. It probably will be.
We'll get a few laughs.
We'll have to wait and see.
I think we'll get a few laughs.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So also in the Rolling Stone interview, Michael Bay also talked about the Transformers franchise, which he is, again, famous for. So going back to the third film, Transformers Dark of the Moon, Michael Bay said that was going to be his last Transformers movie. And then in this last one, Age of Extinction, he said that was going to be his last Transformers movie he directed. Well, now he's saying that he's coming back for the fifth film. And 1,000 voices cried out in terror in that moment. He said, quote, "It's fun to do a movie that 100 million people will see, but this is the last one. I have to pass the reins on to someone else." Do you think this is his last one?
I don't know what that statement. It sounds like he is loving that everybody. I mean, he has pretty much a franchise that will sell tickets itself.
It's what it is, yeah.
100. He pretty much said 100 million people are going to watch this, no matter how bad this film is.
Which is what happened in the last one.
So I don't know how I feel about it. I have a lot of respect for Michael Bay and the films he makes, but at the same time, this is just kind of like pooping out a film just because you want to. You know what I mean? Why? Why do you need to make another one?
Toys.
Yeah. Money.
Toys and juice boxes and lunch boxes and
stickers
t-shirts and stickers. Exactly. That's exactly what it's all about. All these kid movies or whatever that are towards the younger audience, sure, they can make money off the movie, but what they really make money off of is the franchise. Much like Star Wars. Star Wars was the grandfather, big daddy of it all that taught these film studios that, hey, you can put out a movie, that's fine, but where you're really going to make the money is the merchandise. And that's what these movies, a lot of these have become now. In regards to Transformers, I think everyone could say the first Transformers movie that was directed by Michael Bay is liked. Yep. I really don't have anyone who's ever said anything too bad about it. It's every other film after that where it's like, they're crap. I like Dark of the Moon. I don't know why. I mean, for some reason I felt like it hit, it was fine. If that would have been the direct sequel, I think a lot of people might more liked it. But I like The Dark of the Moon. I own it on Blu-ray, as well as the first Transformers film. The second and fourth one, the second one was pretty bad. The fourth one is just, it's not even watchable, I don't think.
With Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah.
Wow.
Where he's playing he's trying to be an inventor, and he puts on glasses to make himself actually look smart when really it's his bulging muscles that are bulking out. And I'm like, you're telling me this guy's an inventor, a struggling inventor, and he's got his 16-year-old daughter that looks like could be his girlfriend? And they got it on during set. I bet, no doubt, Wahlberg hit that.
How can we find a girl that looks like she could be Mark Wahlberg's daughter and be hot at the same time?
Exactly, that's all it was. So Michael Bay has done many movies that I enjoy. Armageddon, Bad Boys, The Rock. He's not a bad film director if you get him in the right movie. This movie coming out, 13 hours, I want to see it. I think it looks like it's going to be pretty good. The Transformers franchise, he needs to jump off that train. Because, again, much like with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film, the last one, it's got to be about what people want to see, which are the CGI characters, the Ninja Turtles, the Transformers. You got to give them character development. You can't just focus on the humans. If you do, you have to make the humans more interesting. Definitely. AKA, don't cast Megan Fox in your movie. To lead your movie, nonetheless. So I think that they can be good if they get handed off to someone else. But Michael Bay coming back does not excite me. I didn't see the last one in theaters. I'm not going to see this one in theaters. I can guarantee you that. It's just the Transformers franchise, another one of my childhood franchises that I love. It's going down the toilet, and it's sad. It's going to make a lot of money, of course, but not from me. Sorry.
I gotta say one more thing about Transformers. I don't think it challenges Michael Bay, and
it's a paycheck.
It's a paycheck, and it's starting to show that in the films. And if it hasn't already, Let's bring somebody fresh in there who has an innovative idea and it's challenging to them, and I guarantee you'll probably get an even better movie than
I
the
think
first
so.
one.
I think you need to change it up, definitely. I mean, if a director stays on a movie for way too long, it becomes stale. So we got to freshen it up, get a whole new cast, a whole new vision in there, and hopefully it can produce better quality films. I hope. All right, guys, so moving on, we're going to go step over to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, much like we do quite a lot on this show. So, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige talked to Empire Magazine about the upcoming film Black Panther. So, in it, he talked about that in its connection to upcoming Avengers sequel. He said, "This one is important. Not only do you get an unbelievable lead character, but you also get all of Wakanda, which is a whole new setting and culture to explore. It's a big geopolitical action adventure that focuses on the family and royal struggle of T'Challa in Wakanda and what it means to be a king. T'Challa's story is very important to us as it links to the next Avengers films, which is why we brought it in moving forward." Chadwick Boseman is set to play the lead as Black Panther or T'Challa. We're first going to see him in this year's Captain America Civil War as kind of introducing him. It's also surfaced that his father, Takata, I probably totally mispronounced that, but in April it said that they were seeking Ghostbuster alumni Ernie Hudson to play his father with that.
Nice, I like that.
And they were not sure if Andy Serkis's character, Ulysses Klaue, who was introduced in Avengers Age of Ultron, is going to come back for this, although I bet he will, because he's a big Black Panther villain too. So I'm sure we'll see him come back for this movie as well. Now, the big thing also around this movie, last week it was rumored or said that they were in negotiations with Creed director Ryan Coogler to direct the film. It was just announced yesterday that they officially signed him.
Nice.
So he's going to be directing the Black Panther.
I love that.
The other film that he's known for is Fruitvale Station as well. Black Panther is set to come out February 16th, 2018. I'm excited for Ryan Coogler. I've seen Fruitvale Station. I've seen Creed. Creed is one of my favorite films of 2015. So I'm excited to see this young director come in and take on this character. But also what gets me excited about this is the way Kevin Feige described the film. Marvel has done a great job of making their superhero films not superhero films. Ant-Man was a heist film. Captain America Winter Soldier was a spy thriller, so to speak. Guardians of the Galaxy was a space opera. They take their characters and make a genre within it. It's a superhero genre film, but it's really a genre beyond that too. And he's saying this is going to be a big geopolitical action adventure that focuses on the family and the royal struggle of T'Challa in Wakanda and what it means to be king. That sounds great. It sounds like it's just not going to be a superhero film. It's going to have that other level to it that we're coming to expect from Marvel Studio films. That gets me excited. I think it's going to have that kind of father-son story in there. I think it's going to have, again, that political thing in there. When it says, I read the part where it says what it means to be king, my first thought is like, it's going to be the Lion King?
That's what I thought too.
I was like, is his dad going to die and then he's going to have to avenge him, or what's going on? But either way, the description of it gets me excited. The director gets me excited. What do you think, man?
Well, I was thinking the same thing, Lion King, but you could definitely put that type of storyline in that movie, and it could be a great movie if you put those two type of, what it takes to be a king, basically.
Yeah. What it means to rule.
Exactly. Almost a similar Thor being worthy of the hammer.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking of that too. Yeah, basically, yeah, because Thor in that first film, he had to,
prove his worthiness.
Prove his worthiness to be a successor to Odin. And I feel like that's going to be one of those things they're going to talk about, where he's going to have to be worthy to be king.
Sean, what's great is that the way they're introducing Black Panther is that in this, he's going to be introduced in a Civil War movie where you're not sure if he's going to be a bad guy or a good guy. You're going to be, wow, this is an awesome character. This guy is awesome looking. Do I like him? Is he a bad guy? Do I hate him? And then a second movie will really, I think, show the true origin.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to introduce him, and then he's going to get his own film, which is fine. I think it's really going to be awesome. What do you think about the director? I don't think you haven't seen Fruitvale Station or Creed, have you?
No, I've heard a lot of good things about Creed. I can't wait. I'm probably going to end up just going out and buy it, man.
Yeah.
I like the idea of him being the director, man. I think it's got Creed always looked at has a certain swag to it, and I think this film could take a lot from that too.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Again, Marvel Studios doing it right. Still no complaints. I don't think they've had a misstep yet. And I'm excited to see what else they're going to bring for Phase 3.
Let's get James Earl Jones in there as the dad.
No. I like Ernie Hudson. We can do Ernie Hudson.
I like Ernie Hudson.
He's not doing enough.
True.
All right. So moving on. We got some Netflix news. Well, there's 2 Netflix stories we're going to talk about. This is the first one. So Netflix has entered a deal with DreamWorks Pictures to develop some original content for Netflix. And 2 of the things they're coming out with. The first one is a show called Troll Hunters that's being produced by Guillermo del Toro. It's described as a new fanatical world wrapped around 2 best friends who will make a startling discovery beneath their hometown. Not much of a description there. Yeah, it's del Toro, but not excited. The second show is what I'm excited about. A new reimagining of Voltron. Growing up, Voltron was one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. The original show ran from September 1984 to November 1985. Spawned a couple follow-up series. It's been a couple comic book series as well. And then, of course, there have been a crap load of merchandise and tie-ins to go with it. Do you know Voltron at all, Josh?
No.
Really? Okay. At least you didn't know. So what it is, just kind of give you a brief description of how awesome it was, okay? It was an anime-style show. If I believe correctly, it was anime show where they, of course, dubbed English subtitles over. And, for instance, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I always thought of that as Ninja Turtles meets Voltron. Because Voltron, you had these 5 space explorers who found the Legend of Voltron. And what it is they each had their own giant robotic lions that they controlled. And when the lions came together, they formed a giant robot, which was Voltron. And they used Voltron to fight these Godzilla-like monsters throughout the galaxy and protect the galaxy. That's why the show is called Voltron, Defender of the Universe. Super awesome. Kind of cheesy, I guess you could say, but a great, great mythology. I've read some of the comics since then. Not that great. But the original Lion series, oh, he's looking it up right now on his phone. He's looking at pictures of it right now, of course. Yeah, I think it's before your generation. You're still too young.
I never watched an episode, but I do remember it.
It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. It's on Hulu. You can check it out. Like I said, if you like anime, I definitely would recommend it. It's one of the few anime in my life I've enjoyed. But like I said, the mythology of it is really cool. That's why I'm super excited for this new one to come out. I think if they treat this with some respect that it hasn't been treated with since, it could be really cool, given that it's on Netflix, and you can usually do a little more with some Netflix series, as we've seen from Marvel. I think it's going to be good. I'm excited for it.
It looks like they have an SNL skit for Voltron too.
I'm sure they do. You can check it out afterwards.
It looks almost like an adult version of Power Rangers.
You can almost say that, yeah. Except for they're not like ninja fighting. And
no,
stuff like
not
that.
at all. It's a little bit more technical than that.
It's really good. It's a very good space epic opera mythology.
Like it.
It's really cool.
A lot of mythology behind it too. So
I'm excited for it. As long as they do it justice, I think it's going to be good. So then, since we don't have anything to add on that, we could go on to the next thing. AMC is coming out with their new show Preacher, which is based off the Vertigo comic book series. We talked about it before on here. And it was just announced by Variety that the show is actually going to premiere before it actually airs on AMC. They're actually going to show the first episode in the upcoming South by Southwest Festival right here in Austin, Texas, in our backyard.
Austin.
The film portion of the festival will run from March 11th through the 19th. It's on the South by Southwest website. Indicates that it will premiere at the festival. No time or date has been set yet, though. Preacher is described as this: a supernatural, twisted, and darkly comedic drama that follows a West Texas preacher named Jesse Custer, who, along with his ex-girlfriend Tulip and Iris Vandeman named Cassidy is thrust into a crazy world much bigger than he is. A new picture also came out with the series lead, Dominic Cooper, who plays Jesse, lighting up a cigarette in church. Scandalous, I guess, so to speak. The show is set to premiere this coming fall, but like I said, you're going to be able to see it early right here in Austin, Texas, South by Southwest. What do you think, man?
Bold move, man. I mean, depending on the kind of reception it gets here in Austin, that could give I guess the corporate guys an idea of whether or not this show's going to be good.
I think I think it's a very smart move, actually, given what I know about the series and the kind of stuff that AMC likes to produce, such as Breaking Bad or The Walking Dead. I can see this really being a hit, especially here in a place like South by Southwest. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be really cool.
Good way to start the
exactly. Get the buzz going, because not a lot of people know about the show.
Yeah.
So this is a good place. South by Southwest has always been a good place to get buzz going for kind of these more low-key shows or movies. So I think it's a very good thing to do. I always want to go. I've been in Austin for several years now. I've always wanted to go to South by Southwest, especially with all these advanced showings they have and the celebrities walking around.
The filmmaker part of it is, I bet is...
Damn, dude. I looked and the tickets are like $600. That's just for the film portion of it, It's like, I don't have that kind of money, okay? How these college kids get this kind of money, I don't know.
Credit card bills, man. You don't have to worry about paying them back.
Yes, you do. And they're called interest. Here's what it is. Mommy and daddy get to pay that for them. Is what it is. That's just ridiculous.
Speaking for the college kids.
Speaking for the college kids, yeah, I can't pay that. I wish there was just like selecting. Because if I could pay for like on a event by event basis, that'd be cool.
If I can go to the event and maybe pay it later, that would be cool.
That's called the credit card.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
The button. But yeah, I've always wanted to go. Never had a chance to. I'd like to go this year. I doubt I will. But maybe next year. Maybe if I plan for it. Because if you buy tickets in like September, usually they're a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll actually plan ahead. But then it depends on what they're showing. I don't want to buy tickets and then be like, oh, there's nothing I want to see.
You should volunteer. Volunteer to work the South by Southwest Festival and... maybe able to see that show for free, man.
Might be able to do that. Because I take that week off anyway for a vacation because it's St. Patrick's Day. Mm-hmm. You know I love my St. Patrick's Day.
Well, there you go.
Might do that. That's a good idea. Okay. So next up, we're going to go back to talking about some Netflix and the show Daredevil. Yes. Netflix has just released a couple things. First off, they have a new poster for the upcoming Season 2. A new... religious-themed teaser trailer for Season 2, as well as announcing the actual premiere for Season 2, which is going to be March 18th. Now, and then they also released a kind of synopsis for the new season, describing it as this. Just when Matt thinks he's bringing order back to the city, new forces are rising in Hell's Kitchen. Now the man without fear must take on a new adversary in Frank Castle and face an old flame, Elektra Natchios. Bigger problems emerge when Frank Castle, a man looking for vengeance, is reborn as the Punisher, a man who takes justice in his own hands in Matt's neighborhood. Meanwhile, Matt must balance his duty to his community as a lawyer and his dangerous life as the devil of Hell's Kitchen, facing life-altering choices that forces him to truly understand what it means to be a hero. Returning for this new season is, of course, Charlie Cox, Deborah Ann Wool, Elvin Henson, and Rosario Dawson. Joining them is going to be John Berthal as the Punisher, Alondie Young as Elektra, and Stephen Ryder as Blake Tower. So Daredevil Season 2 premieres March 18th. A lot of people thought it was going to be March 25th, and it was going to compete with Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, which comes out in theaters on that day. But they're doing it a week earlier. It's awesome. Josh, you excited for the new season of Daredevil?
Oh, yeah, man. I think I'll finish it by the time Batman comes out. Matt Murdock has his hands filled, man.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to seeing Frank Castle on that show. I think he's going to unleash chaos, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So of course you have the new teaser, but then you look at the poster as well where it's got him and all the characters kind of below him. And they're going for the religious theme because one of the things about Daredevil is he's actually a very devout Catholic. So there have been several storylines where it focuses on his religious beliefs as well.
Okay.
He goes to church, as we saw in the first season. He has his priest, and he confesses all of his sins to his priest
Got a great
all the
relationship
time.
with his priest, yeah.
Exactly. So in that poster or that picture, you see all him with all the characters, but if you see the outline within that picture is a picture of a skull, which teases.
Oh, I didn't catch
catch that?
I did not catch
yeah,
that. And I was looking for him the whole time
Yeah.
on that picture. I was like, where is the Punisher in it?
Yeah, if you go back and look at it, there's the outline of him, of a skull, which kind of
Very
teases Punisher as well. What do you think of the teaser, actually? The kind of, they're kind of going for that Michelangelo's 16th Chapel kind of thing.
Yeah, I got that. I thought it was a great teaser trailer. It didn't show too much. It was a teaser trailer, and
Yeah, I think we're going to get another one before then that's going to go in a lot more detail.
I'm anxious to see to see the Punisher. That's what I'm anxious for. Elektra too.
That's kind of the new characters, because both Elektra and Punisher are really great characters. As long as you utilize them well, I think it's going to be a great addition to the series. Season 1 I liked. I didn't like it as much as I wanted to, but like I said, I think they've got a great foundation going to where Season 2, bringing in these new characters, could be really great. So, with that in mind, I think this Season 2, as long as they've done a good job of balancing the characters, I think it'd be really good.
Going on that note, I felt like the Season 1 kind of dragged out a little bit towards the middle of the season, and I felt that was because there was only one villain. I mean, Kingpin is your villain, which I loved the character, and I thought the actor did a great job, but I felt like he could have handled a little bit more. The scariest moments of Kingpin is when he had his men working for him and he never knew where he was. So I'm anxious to see when you have all these in one show, one blender, how's it going to come all together?
I feel like it's going to be kind of like Batman v Superman, where you're going to have Daredevil versus Punisher for most of the season, and then they realize they're going to, kind of come to an agreement, and then they realize there's a bigger bad guy that they have to take on together.
Yeah.
Is what I feel like it's going to be. But I think it's going to be good because, again, going with the religious theme or morals, I guess, is Matt's going to have to juggle Frank Castle on what he's doing, because they both want to clean up the streets. It's just they're doing it different ways. So he's going to have to realize, is this the best way? Is my way better? That inner struggle is what I want to see of where, should I be helping him or should I be stopping him?
Yeah, he's capping people, man. I mean...
Yeah,
that's a great
And that was another thing, too, is about, sticking with the Marvel Universe, Civil War, was Punisher was on Captain America's side during the whole Civil War thing, but he actually kicked Frank Castle out because he didn't like the way Frank Castle was doing business. So he's like, I don't want you on my team. I don't want to be associated with you. Get out. So.
Go on your own, bro. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm excited for it. Did you ever finish Jessica Jones yet, man?
Yes, I did. It was awesome. I love the finale. Jessica Jones, man. Great story. Surprised the heck out of me, man, how much I loved it. And once we got to the last 4 episodes, it was hard. We couldn't stop. We just ended up binge watching.
So are you excited more for the next one, Luke Cage, to come out now? Or?
Yeah.
Because I'm not actually that excited. Given the actor, I'm not that excited for Luke Cage.
I remember you saying that while watching this, and I wasn't impressed with his last few episodes that he was in, but I feel like there's a lot there between him and Jessica Jones. I will be interested if Jessica Jones is in it.
Oh yeah, she'll pop up.
I hope. I mean, I love the character. I think the character's badass. I mean, and the way they shot it was great. Hopefully, he's a good enough actor to carry it.
I'm excited to see what they do with Iron Fist. Iron Fist is one of my favorite characters, so I'm more excited for that than I am Luke Cage. But I am excited for Daredevil Season 2. I think I'm going to go through and kind of skim through Season 1 before Season 2 starts, because that's what I like to do. Is I'll watch a series, and then if I go back and rewatch it, I'll skim through the parts that I don't like just to get through the series quicker. I'll probably go through and I'll watch all the scenes with Daredevil or Matt Murdock because I like the character.
Yeah.
But then the Kingpin, I wasn't too thrilled with. I mean, he was okay.
Yeah.
But I can just skim that, which is a good chunk of time.
There is a lot. There's a whole episode about his whole origin.
So if I skip that part and just watch the Matt Murdock stuff, I feel like I can get through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think I'll do the same thing, man. I've been kind of itching to watch it again.
I know, especially since I've seen the new teasers last week and stuff.
Yeah.
I've actually been itching to read some more Daredevil too. So maybe I'll go back and read Man Without Fear or something like that while I'm at it.
Oh yeah, on Kingpin though, I actually like Kilgrave now more than I do like Kingpin.
Oh yeah, Kilgrave is a much better villain. So do you like Jessica Jones or Daredevil better?
Oh, Daredevil, dude.
Yeah?
I like, yeah. I love Jessica Jones and her abilities, and the idea that she stands for. She's a woman doing all this, accomplishing all that. She's tough. But Matt Murdock's blind, dude. He has his own abilities in his own, but he's still just a man. He's fragile, dude.
He is. And I think one thing I've always loved about Daredevil is not the fact that he's blind, he's a superhero. It's the fact that he's from Hell's Kitchen. Not to rip on Batman, but he's a hero without money. He's a regular guy.
He's a lawyer. He has money.
His real power is his super senses. Other than that, he's just a regular guy. So
With a lot
he
of
doesn't have money. So he's fighting the good fight down in the dirt, much like Batman does, but he doesn't have the $1 billion gadgets to help him. He just is by himself, and he gets hurt a lot.
It's like Batman when he was in the crap, when he ran away from Gotham and he was on his own. That's all Daredevil. I feel like I relate to that.
Kind of, yes. Yeah.
In the grit, in the mud.
I think it's just my overall hatred for rich people. Maybe that's why don't like Batman as much.
As we're recording this in your beautiful home here.
Beautiful home? What are you talking about, man? I pay for this home thanks to my slightly paycheck. And guess what? Because I pay for this home, I can't afford to do much else, okay? So.
Point taken.
Thank you. All right, so let's move away now. We're going to go to my favorite part, which is
Star Wars time.
Talking some Star Wars. Guys, I spent my weekend reading the novelization of Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, I like to do this with films. I read all the Star Wars movies, the novelizations of them, because it usually gives you extra scenes, extra tidbits, inside the character thoughts, stuff like that. So it gives you a more inside look into the film. With this one, there wasn't a lot of extra scenes, so to speak, that I saw, but there was a heck of a lot more dialogue sprinkled throughout. Like if you have a scene in the film, there's probably like 2 or 3 more sentences per scene that was in the book that wasn't in the movie. For instance, there's a scene between Han and Leia where they're talking about their son in the movie. And there's a whole nother like paragraph or 2 of dialogue in the book that wasn't in the film. And I really liked it. Yeah. Like, just for saying, there was a whole thing where they're talking about their son, and Leia reveals to Han that she knew that Snoke was watching Ben his whole life. Like, Snoke had, been in the background watching the galaxy events unfold as far as the rise of the Empire, the fall of the Empire, all that stuff. But he knew that when Leia was pregnant, he was watching Ben. He was waiting for the time. Much like Palpatine was watching Anakin all those years, Snoke was watching Ben all those years, waiting for the time to go. Because he knows it's about the Skywalker blood.
He's a pawn for him to use.
Exactly. It's powerful. He's powerful in the Force, so he was waiting for him to get to that point where he could flip him and turn him against him. So that was really cool. That made that scene a lot better for me with that. Another dialogue. There was even dialogue in the book that was changed that I liked. There was the scene where Finn and Chewie and Han attack the Starkiller base and try to deactivate the shields and all that. In the movie, there was kind of like that funny dialogue that I felt didn't work for me.
Yeah.
But dialogue was changed. It was different dialogue in the book than it was in the movie. And I loved the jokes they made in the book better than I did the film.
Yeah, it seemed like they were trying.
Yeah, exactly. They were trying to make it funny. With this one, it seemed a lot more smooth, for instance, which I thought worked a lot better. However, here's the big one, man. You ready for this? You ready to lay down this knowledge on you right here?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I think.
So the big question from this movie, and everyone's talking about and will be talking about, is who is Rey? What is her lineage? What does she know?
Man.
All this other stuff. People are like, is she a Skywalker? Is she a Solo? Is she just somebody fresh? Who is she, okay? And people speculated that maybe she, knew Luke at one point, or just forgot, or whatever, who she knows, what she knows, all this other stuff, okay? So there was a line in the book. It was 3 words. Totally blew me away. So they're in the snow. Kylo Ren has just taken out Finn, and, he's reaching for Luke Skywalker's old lightsaber, but it doesn't go to him, it goes to Rey, right? And then she lights it up. And in the book, there's a line where Kylo Ren, after that happens, he's like, "It is you."
Oh, wow.
He knows who Rey is, okay? He knows who she is. Probably means, I don't know if Han and Leia know who she is. So here's my new theory, based off of this.
All right.
Okay? Was I don't think she is really... okay. She obviously trained. I think she trained in Luke's Jedi Academy, so to speak. She was there training. Okay? And I could see a thing where, as they trained or whatever, Luke realized that this kid, Rey, was really strong in the Force, so much that he might have taken his attention away from his star pupil, a.k.a. Ben Solo, so to speak, which of course might have started Ben down those dark paths, because he was jealous, maybe. And then all that crap goes down where Ben becomes Kylo Ren, kills the Academy. Luke's got to take now Rey and hide her, stuff like that.
Place her somewhere else for later, to safekeeping, so to
I
speak.
can see where maybe Han and Leia don't know who she is. Because you also got the sense at the end of the book as well, where Leia, when Rey goes off to go find Luke, Leia makes a comment where it's like, this is exactly, I remember exactly when I had to say goodbye to Ben like this, to my son like this. Which makes me speak that almost like Luke took Ben and took him to like boarding school. Like took him to a place when he was young where Leia didn't see him at all and then trained him, and then all that stuff went down and she hadn't seen him since he was a boy. So she thought that, it's like, oh, this is kind of familiar when I see you go off and know that you're going to start your Jedi training, I guess, so to speak. So she might not know who Rey is because maybe Rey trained with Luke at the Academy and never met Han or Leia, but Kylo Ren definitely knows who she is.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's not a matter of, oh, she's a nobody that, just appeared out of anywhere. She's somebody.
Yeah, they captured that a little bit for me in the film. It was very subtle, but you could tell Kylo had this grudge against her almost.
Yeah, exactly. I can see that too
already.
Exactly. I think it was one of those things where she was the apple of the teacher's eye, and I think that helped bring about Ben's downfall because he was jealous.
Ben has to work so hard to be good with the Force, and he's still only mediocre.
He's got that Skywalker blood, so he's obviously a little whiny.
Oh, you had to drop that on me.
Come on, no.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's definitely whiny. But
between Anakin and Luke, the Skywalkers have a little bit of...
Two whiny Skywalkers doesn't make the whole family a big whiner. I mean, Luke never whined.
Whatever. So
I'm not going to open up that can.
So yeah, the novelization, if you want to dive more into the film, I got a little bit from it. I actually loved it. As far as a difference in the film, dialogue-wise, I thought it was much better. I liked a lot more of the changes they did.
It answered a few of your questions. I remember you said the movie. Your first line to me after you saw Star Wars was, "There's a lot of questions that weren't answered."
It didn't give me more. It didn't answer them, but it gave you more hints. Like I said, that line with Rey, it gave you better understanding. Like I now know for certain that Rey is just not a nobody. That she has trained, that Kylo Ren knows who she is, that she has had some Jedi training, I'm sure, of some kind, and she is somebody important. So from that aspect. So, but yeah, I like the novel a lot. I recommend it if you want to dive a little deeper as well. That's awesome. So then actually get into the actual Star Wars news. The last story of the day is there is a petition going on right now on the website change.org where people are petitioning that George Lucas come back and direct Episode 9, which will be the last film in this trilogy, of the new trilogy. Now, right now, Jurassic World director Colin Trevorrow is set to direct Episode 9, but people want actually George Lucas to come back, quoting, "Put the father of the franchise as director of Episode 9. We really want this, please." And right now, the signature has 826 supporters, but it's going to be an uphill battle, especially since Lucas himself says he doesn't want to direct major motion pictures anymore. He wants to do smaller experimental films. And he and Disney also have stated that they don't share the same vision for the future of the Star Wars franchise. Lucas has said, quote, "They wanted to do a retro movie of The Force Awakens, and I don't like that." So, give you a little background as well. George Lucas he wrote the story and the screenplay for episodes 1 through 6. Okay, he directed episodes 1 through 3, and then directed the first ever Star Wars film, episode 4. But episodes 5 and 6, Return of the Jedi and The Empire Strikes Back, had different directors. So he's had involvement. Those first 6 films, he's had direct involvement in them, minus, writing and stuff like that. He's good, but directing, he had someone else direct the other films. I don't want him to come back.
Same here. That's my...
I think the franchise has moved beyond him. I think, especially if you look at those prequels, it's a weird feeling because those prequels were him doing his own thing, not listening to anybody else, and only surrounding himself with yes men that were like, "Oh, George is the greatest. Oh, he's the best ever. He can't do no wrong." No, I'm like, no, you can't have that, people. Okay, you gotta have people to challenge you. It's like my friend Griffey. Okay, big comic book guy, big sci-fi guy. We like a lot of the same stuff, but we disagree on almost everything as in regards to sci-fi and fantasy. Like yesterday, there was an announcement. They had a short list for the young Han Solo film as far as actors who are going to be Han Solo. We'll talk about that next week.
Casted that?
No, they got a short list. They got like 10 people now.
Okay.
Of actors. And I threw in my 2 cents of who I thought would be good from that short list. He completely disagreed, of course. And that's the thing. I don't hardly ever agree with anything Griffey says, but I think we need to have those people around us in our life that challenge us,
Definitely.
That have that different point of view, that not make us complacent. It's like, oh, I don't know, if you want to get political, I don't want to, sometimes people that I have on my Facebook really tick me off at some of the things they post politically, but unless they're completely far off, I keep them on there because you want to have those people in your life. You don't want to surround yourself with people that think the same way you do all the time because it can be a little complacent, I believe. And I think that's what happened to George Lucas in that instance is he, for a decade or so, he got built up as being able to do no wrong and not having anyone around him that challenged him. So that's how he got the prequels, and we don't want that. Now, I'm sure he's learned his lesson since then, and if he came back, he would do things a little differently. But like I said, I think the franchise has moved beyond him. He's always going to be credited for starting this.
It's his baby, man.
It's his
Nobody's
baby.
Doubting that.
It's great. But not only Star Wars as well, but also movies in general. In the last 25, 30 years, whatever, no one who's done more for film than George Lucas.
Yeah.
As not only just for the franchise Star Wars, but for technology, okay? What he did in that first Star Wars movie was advance the technology of special effects. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, he did it again, advancing the special effects. ILM, you can credit them for a lot. Skywalker Sound. Pixar came pretty much from Lucasfilm as well. So he's done a lot for the movie industry.
Yeah.
I think more than a lot of people can say. But again, I don't want him to come back. I think the franchise is beyond him.
It scares the crap out of me about George Lucas directing this next film? Jar Jar Binks. This is the man that created Jar Jar Binks when he directed the Star Wars prequels. I'm worried. I'm excited for this next film because it's the next stage for the trilogy. It's going to be darker, and I don't see him doing well with dark films. I mean, I take that back. I mean, he did do well. Episode 3 out of the prequels is by far my favorite.
Of the whole franchise?
No,
of the prequels. Of course, yeah.
No.
I'll give you that, of
Empire
course.
Strikes Back is by far my favorite. Which, again, he did not direct. So, I don't doubt it's his baby. It's definitely, I associate Star Wars with George Lucas. I even associate special effects with George Lucas. Nobody else, no other director put their signature on a special effect more so than George Lucas in my mind. So, yeah, I mean, it's not to say I don't love his films. I don't like him as a director. I love American Graffiti, man. That's one.
Yeah, that was good.
That's a classic.
Yeah, it's just, this petition is just,
I wonder
it's not anything, man. It's 826 signatures.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
Happen,
not a lot at all, actually. And of course, like you said, he doesn't have an interest in coming back and working for Disney because then he'd be.
Who is the director for this next one?
This next one for episode 4 is going to be Rian Johnson. He's the guy who did the film Looper.
Oh, okay.
Which, again, John Boyega just came out yesterday with an announcement saying that he's read the episode 8 script, and it is much darker than what episode 7 will be. Mm-hmm. So it really gets you the feeling that, guess what, we're getting another... This is going to be the Empire Strikes Back of this trilogy, which is great. Because Colin Trevorrow, I think, is then going to do the Return of the Jedi of this trilogy, of course. Oh. And I think it's going to be great. So Colin Trevorrow, I know some people that have issues with Jurassic World. Whatever. I think he's going to do a fine job, and I'm looking forward to what he does. There's no way George Lucas is coming back.
We know Lisa's happy about that director choice.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, she loves Jurassic World, of course. All right, guys, so that's all I got for this week. Anything else you want to add, Josh, before we take off?
No, man, it's good to be back. I had a lot of fun doing the show. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, yeah, man. I love doing these things, man. It's great. Although, it'd be nice if some people showed up on time.
Maybe. That's the new year. Let's keep our hopes up.
I thought you had a New Year's resolution. You were going to actually show up on time.
That's work, and I've kept that.
This is work, man.
This is pleasure.
This is your work, okay?
And I was reading the book you wanted me to finish reading before.
Okay.
That was my excuse.
I guess I can't knock you for that.
I had homework to finish before I came to class.
All right. Not bad. So, but yeah, my New Year's resolution, I want to try to expand this a little more. As far as I'm going to get a direct Facebook page, I'll get a direct Twitter account. Actually try to expand our listening audience to just more than our parents.
Yeah.
We can do that. And then, of course, I want to try to improve the quality of the show as far as when I listen to it, of course, the sound isn't quite what I want it to be. So do some experimenting with that and try to get better quality on that as far. But hoping to improve this a little bit, expand it and hopefully grow, man.
So you're saying this next place is going to have a sound stage?
I wish, right?
A studio.
I wish.
And we're going to dedicate a whole room to that, right?
I wish, man. I wish. I could. Oh, yeah. My next house, I'll build a whole wing for it, right?
As long as there are lightsabers in there, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
That would be nice. All right, guys. So that's it for us today. If you have any questions or comments, anything you want us to talk about, you can always hit us up on dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com or hit us up on social media because these days, who does not have a social media account? I don't know. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Slim, SLYM, Dayspring12. Josh, where can they find you?
Instagram or Facebook. Instagram is a better one. I am Batman247.
Oh.
Add me.
One thing I totally forgot too. Today is the official 50th anniversary of the Batman Adam West television series. Being a Batman fan, I thought you'd want to know that, even though you've probably never seen any of the Adam West Batman series.
Excuse me, yes I have.
Okay.
Okay. And they're good. I like them. They're cheesy.
So here's my challenge for you, my friend. Okay. Uh-oh. I was looking online, and you can find the Adam West Batman movie on Amazon. So my challenge for you today is to go watch it.
Okay. So it's free? It's like instant?
It's free, yeah. It's on Prime.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So go watch it, and then
I gotta revamp my password.
Exactly. I think it's totally different from any Batman that you know of today. It's different from the Tim Burton Batman. It's different from the Christopher Nolan Batman. I want to see what you think, and we'll talk about it next week. Okay?
That's my homework.
All right, guys. Well, until then,